Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going deep on something that's, well, it's economically significant, but it's also really relevant if you're prepping for, government exams, especially those focused on like economic regulation or the
Yeah.
SSC.
Definitely, especially the SSC.
Yeah, we're talking about the rise of micro, small, and medium enterprises,
MSMEs.
MSMEs, right, in India.
Yeah, it's a sector that's, often called the backbone of the Indian economy, and for good reason, right? I mean, we've got some recent government reports and data, and they really paint a dynamic picture of growth and resilience.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, right off the bat, the reports highlight a remarkable jump in MSME
Oh,
exports.
yeah, for sure.
We're talking about like a leap from, hold on, let me get this right, 3.95 lakh crore in 2020-21
Okay.
to a whopping 12.39 lakh crore in 2024-25.
Wow.
Now, for those of you keeping score at home, that's more than triple the export value in just a few years.
It is, and it's not just the value of exports that's impressive, it's the number of MSMEs that are actually participating in exports. That's skyrocketed too. Think about it. In 2020-21, there were 52,849 exporting MSMEs.
Okay.
By 2024-25, that number shot up to 173,350.
Wow.
That's a massive increase in the number of businesses, engaging with that global market.
So what does this tell us? It's not just about, rote memorization of figures for an exam, but like understanding the trend here. MSMEs are no longer just local players. They're becoming key players in the international stage. This is a huge shift in India's economic landscape.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is that this rise in exports, it isn't happening in isolation. It's directly tied to the growth in the number of medium enterprises.
Interesting.
The reports show a fascinating trend of micro and small enterprises scaling up to become medium-sized businesses.
Okay, so imagine a small business, in your neighborhood,
Right.
and suddenly it's expanding its operations, investing in new technology, maybe even hiring more people. That's the kind of transformation we're seeing across India.
It's a dynamic shift, and it's reflected in the data. Back in 2017-18, MSMEs contributed almost 30% to India's overall GDP.
Huge.
And even after a dip during the pandemic, it bounced back up to 30.1% in 2022-23. This demonstrates the sector's crucial role in driving economic growth and stability.
So we're seeing this incredible growth story unfold. But let's break it down a bit further. How exactly are these different types of enterprises defined? What makes a micro enterprise different from a small one or a medium one?
Well, the sources define them based on investment and turnover. Micro enterprises have the smallest investment and turnover limits, followed by small and then medium. These definitions are important because they determine what kind of support and benefits these businesses are eligible for.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics. What are the actual numbers?
Right.
For anyone studying for those government exams, this is where you'll want to take notes.
Absolutely. So a micro enterprise, for example, is defined as having an investment in plant and machinery or equipment that doesn't exceed 1 crore rupees. And their annual turnover can't exceed 5 crore rupees.
All right, so that sets the bar for the smallest category. What about small enterprises?
For a small enterprise, the investment limit jumps up to 10 crore rupees.
Got it.
And the turnover limit is 50 crore rupees.
Okay, and lastly, for medium enterprises.
Medium enterprises have an investment limit of 50 crore rupees and a turnover limit of 250 crore rupees.
Got it. So those definitions are really important for anyone looking to understand the landscape of the MSME sector in India. But what I find particularly fascinating is that we're seeing so many businesses actually moving up from those micro and small categories to become medium enterprises.
That's a really important point. It suggests that there's a healthy business environment in India where businesses are not just surviving, but thriving and growing. And this upward mobility within the sector is something we'll explore further in this deep dive.
Yeah, and this is definitely valuable information for anyone interested in understanding the dynamics of the Indian economy, especially for those of you prepping for government exams.
It's really encouraging to see this kind of upward, movement within the MSME sector. And it's not just happening, organically. Like, the government has been actively promoting entrepreneurship and creating a supportive environment for MSMEs through, various policies and schemes.
Oh, for sure. I mean, in fact, these initiatives have been a hot topic in recent government exams. Things like simplifying regulations, improving access to finance, and fostering innovation, all aimed at boosting the sector. Seems like those efforts are paying off, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. These policies are a key factor behind this impressive growth we're seeing. And for those of you studying for exams like the SSC, understanding these initiatives and their impact is crucial. It's not just about memorizing the names of schemes, it's understanding how they translate into real-world results.
Exactly. So let's delve into the specifics of this growth. We talked about micro and small enterprises scaling up to become medium enterprises. The reports actually provide some really interesting data on this trend between July 4, 2020 and July 24, 2024.
That's right. And it's important to note that this data often shows up in government exams, so pay attention. In the financial year 2020-21 to 2021-22, 714 microenterprises made the leap to medium, and 3,701 small enterprises upgraded to medium.
So even during a period that included the pandemic's impact, we're seeing a significant number of businesses, leveling up.
Precisely. And the trend continued to gain momentum. In the financial year 2023-24 to 2024-25, the numbers were even more impressive. 2,372 microenterprises and a whopping 17,745 small enterprises became medium enterprises.
Wow, those figures really highlight the dynamism of the MSME sector. It's a clear indication that something's working right, both in terms of government policies and the entrepreneurial spirit of the people.
It really speaks to the resilience and adaptability of Indian businesses. And it's not just about economic growth. Remember, MSMEs often operate in rural areas, creating local jobs and supporting communities.
That's a great point. This brings us to the social impact of MSME growth. It's about more than just GDP figures. It's about empowering communities and driving inclusive development across the country.
Absolutely. The growth of the MSME sector is a story of individual entrepreneurs, workers, and families whose lives are being transformed. And it's a story that's intertwined with the overall development of the nation.
So we've seen the numbers, we've talked about the growth, and we've touched on the social impact. But I think it's important to kind of step back and consider what it all means. What can we learn from this, remarkable rise of MSMEs in India? What are the key takeaways, especially for those preparing for government exams?
Well, one of the key takeaways is the importance of a supportive policy environment. The government's focus on simplifying regulations, providing access to finance, and fostering innovation has clearly played a major role in this success story. Understanding these policies, their objectives, and their impact is crucial for anyone interested in public policy or economic development.
Right, and it's not just about understanding the policies themselves. It's about analyzing their effectiveness, identifying potential challenges, and thinking critically about how they can be further improved. This kind of analytical thinking is often tested in government exams, so it's important to go beyond rote memorization and develop those critical thinking skills.
Absolutely. Another important takeaway is the power of entrepreneurship and the resilience of the Indian spirit. Even in the face of challenges like the pandemic, we've seen MSMEs adapt, innovate, and thrive. This is a testament to the hard work, creativity, and determination of millions of individuals across the country.
And this brings us to another crucial aspect that often comes up in government exams, the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for this vibrant sector. While we've highlighted the phenomenal growth and potential, it's important to remember that no sector is without its hurdles. Are there any specific challenges highlighted in the reports that we should discuss?
Yes, definitely. One of the most significant challenges, and one that frequently appears in government exams, is the issue of access to finance. Despite the various schemes introduced to improve credit accessibility, many MSMEs, especially micro and small enterprises, still struggle to secure the funding they need to expand their operations.
This makes sense. Think about it. Smaller businesses often lack the kind of collateral or credit history that larger institutions typically require. So how can we bridge this financing gap? What are some potential solutions?
Well, that's where things get really interesting for those of you interested in policy or regulatory frameworks. The report suggests a need for more innovative financial products and services, specifically designed to meet the unique needs of MSMEs.
So are we talking about solutions beyond the traditional banking system?
Precisely. Think about microfinance institutions, peer-to-peer lending platforms, and even the growing potential of crowdfunding. These alternative financing models could play a crucial role in providing MSMEs with the capital they need to grow and thrive.
This is valuable information, not only for aspiring entrepreneurs, but also for those preparing for exams related to financial regulation or economic development. It highlights the evolving landscape of finance and the need for solutions that cater to a diverse range of businesses. Now, are there any other challenges that our listeners should be aware of?
Another significant challenge highlighted in the reports is the need for greater technological adoption and digital literacy among MSMEs. In today's rapidly changing world, businesses need to leverage technology effectively to stay competitive, especially in the global marketplace.
That's a great point, and I think it's particularly relevant for smaller businesses that might not have the resources or expertise to fully embrace, like digital transformation. What kind of support do these businesses need to overcome this challenge?
Well, the reports, they emphasize the need for more training programs and support systems to help MSMEs integrate digital tools and platforms into their operations. Think about everything from like marketing and sales to supply chain management and even, financial operations. All of these can be enhanced through technology.
So it's not just about providing access to technology, right? It's also about ensuring that, business owners actually have the skills and knowledge to use it effectively.
Exactly. It's about empowering MSMEs to become like digitally savvy and competitive in the modern business environment. And, for those of you interested in government policy, this is an area where targeted initiatives can have a significant impact.
That's a great point for anyone studying for those government exams.
Sure.
Understanding the role of technology in MSME development and the policies aimed at promoting digital literacy, that's essential.
Hmm.
But let's not forget about the opportunities. Despite these challenges, the reports are actually quite optimistic about the future of the MSME sector in India.
Yeah, there's a strong belief that, with the right support and initiatives, MSMEs can play an even greater role in driving economic growth, creating jobs, and fostering innovation. And these opportunities are often the focus of questions in government exams, so let's break them down.
Okay, so where do these opportunities lie? What specific areas are highlighted in the reports?
One area that's, repeatedly emphasized is the potential for MSMEs to contribute to key national priorities, like the Make in India initiative.
Right. The government is actively encouraging MSMEs to participate in manufacturing and production, reducing reliance on imports, and boosting domestic production.
Exactly. And this push towards domestic manufacturing presents a huge opportunity for MSMEs to expand their operations, create new jobs, and contribute to India's economic self-reliance.
So we're talking about a sector that's not just growing itself, but actively contributing to the overall growth and development of the nation. Now, are there any other opportunities highlighted in the reports that we haven't touched on yet?
Yes, definitely. There's a growing emphasis on promoting sustainability and, environmentally friendly practices within the MSME sector.
That's a really important trend and one that aligns with global consumer demand for products and services that are, ethically and sustainably produced.
Absolutely. And the report suggests that by embracing sustainable practices, MSMEs can not only reduce their environmental impact, but also enhance their brand image and appeal to a wider customer base.
So it's a win-win situation for both the planet and the businesses themselves. It's really fascinating to see how this sector is constantly evolving, responding to new challenges, and embracing new opportunities.
Precisely. What we're seeing is a sector that's dynamic, resilient, and full of potential. It's a story of challenges, yes, but also of tremendous opportunity and growth.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to reiterate that the MSME story is not just about numbers and statistics. It's about real people, real businesses, and the impact they have on their communities and the nation as a whole.
It's a story that's relevant for everyone, whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a policymaker, or simply a citizen interested in India's economic future.
And for all of you preparing for government exams, remember that the MSME sector is a dynamic and ever-evolving landscape. Stay informed, stay curious, and keep digging deeper.
And if you found this deep dive as insightful as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might be interested in the fascinating world of Indian MSMEs.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into a topic that matters.